What's up? We're the FREESTYLE on HamiltonRadio.net.
Yep.
I'm Ralphie Rotten, also known as DJ Noise. My right hand man is Billy the Kid, this funny, crazy man. What is up, brother? How was your weekend? Past two weekends, because we took the last week off because it was my daughter's birthday. Shout out to my daughter. It was her birthday.
Happy birthday.
Decided to take her to Six Flags. Initially, my idea was I was going to go into work and ask for the half day off. And I rarely call out. And I messaged my 3 bosses, and 2 of them responded saying they were fine with it. I said, can I take the day off? It's my daughter's birthday. I didn't, I didn't think to ask for the day off. I didn't know it was going to fall on that Monday. So we went to Six Flags, a little bumpy, but we had a good time. She had a good time. So we got back a little late. That's why I said, listen, let me try to cancel the show so you're not here.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I was totally understandable. You was handling family priorities,
Ruben, can you lower the music a little bit in the background?
It was the princess' birthday, So, I would expect you to. Plus it was a holiday.
Yeah. Well, it's not I don't consider that a holiday because, most of you that know me know I do not support and honor Christopher Columbus. Not because of the accomplishments and the groundbreaking and the, what he did, to discover so-called America, which he did not discover America. He discovered, the Bahamas and the Caribbean islands, Haiti.
Hey, Mom.
Dominican Republic.
Sorry.
Puerto Rico.
Forget all of that. My mom tuned in. What's up, Mom?
Shout out to Mom. But back to what I was saying. So we really quickly move on to that. My thoughts on that is that, yes, he did great things, but while he was doing great things, he was doing even worse things. So when we say, hey, take those Confederate statues down, they should take those Columbus statues down as well, because he enslaved people and he thought it was moral. He thought it was okay to take little girls as slaves as young as 9 years old. He thought it was okay to take slaves, and take them back, and have them as servants, back home in Spain. He brought diseases. There's a rumor that he took blankets, and put, what was it? Smallpox on them. Some of this data is recorded, and his actual accounts saying, about, slavery, regarding slavery, that, these fine men will make good slaves, in those kind of words. Like, I'm not knocking the fact that he should be honored for a day, but we should not be honoring him because he didn't discover America. He committed atrocities, so that, we should have Indigenous Peoples Day. I think a lot of people would agree with that. It's where a lot of natives can come together and enjoy, life, what we have of it. The Florida Seminoles were a loosely populated Indian tribe made up of runaway slaves, different runaway tribes, and they all came together and created the Florida Seminoles. So that was a multicultural band of Indian tribe. And in North, America had so many Indian tribes, but I'm just talking about just one. And, my heritage, the Tainos and the Arawaks, and we're talking about the other Latin Americans that are either Guatemalan, Mexican. They have the Aztec, the Mayan, their culture. What I'm saying, their heritage. What I'm saying. So I do agree that and there is some you know, white people that do have native, Indo-European, or they are probably native. Some white people are native. Nothing wrong with that. They could, so I think that a lot of people could come together on a day like that and, what I'm saying, celebrate.
Yeah, but not for its
But
core
not for that. It shouldn't be, I think maybe if Columbus has his own day, he should have his own day, but not be celebrated for him. You know what I'm saying? So, I just don't agree with, statues up, we take statues down, from the Civil War. We should take his statue down. It's just, we're being hypocrites when we do not do that.
Take his statue down and pull up Tyler Perry's.
Well, I mean, Tyler Perry is not a legend yet, but he is definitely on his way.
Yo, I think he's going to get his,
he is the
Tyler
first,
Perry Day. It's going to be like Tyler Perry Day.
He is the first black African-American to create his own version of Hollywood. It's not a version of Hollywood. It's his version. He has his own studio in Atlanta, outside Atlanta. I think it's inside or outside Atlanta. One of my favorite towns, one of my favorite cities. Hence Atlanta. It's huge. It's about 3 times
400 acres.
3 times the size of Hollywood. It has its own life-size version, replica of the White House.
All
to details, the Oval Office, everything.
East Wing, West Wing.
He shoots show pertaining to the White House there. He has a domestic violence, shelter on the premise. He helps the homeless. It's insane what he's doing. He's bringing jobs to that area. He's revitalizing. Now I'm not saying that Atlanta's not. 'Cause Atlanta's a bustling city right now. Atlanta's one of the music meccas of America.
I feel like we're watching history in the making when it come down to Atlanta. We watching history be made.
I mean, Atlanta's it's the East Hollywood right now.
It's the Hollywood. It's the New York. It's the.
It's a multi. It's
the Mecca of the South.
Yeah, it's becoming the Mecca of the South now. They say, oh, it's Miami. Oh, it's it's Memphis. Oh, it's Houston. No, it's starting to
Atlanta.
Be,
it's Atlanta, man.
It's starting to become Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Yeah. If you're not in LA, you're in Atlanta.
Yeah.
If you're not in either of those cities, you're either Miami or you're in New York. Those four major cities, right?
Yeah. Throw Vegas in there.
Insane. Oh, Vegas. Well, Vegas is it's a different kind of city, but yes.
Yeah. Certain things are legal there.
So how was your weekends?
Man, my weekend was chill, man. Besides that rain, being in the way, it wasn't really much to do, man, with that rain,
Well, Saturday I went to a friend of mine's, friends with a couple. We went they had a little bonfire Halloween party, so we went chilled, seeing some of our friends. So that was Saturday night. And yesterday, of course, I watched some of the Eagles. Well, I watched the Eagles get half the game get slaughtered. Not slaughtered, but
forget the game, man.
They get beat.
It's a shame you got to beef with half your family because majority of them Cowboys fans.
Well, I mean, listen, I can't stand the Cowboys. People know I can't stand the Cowboys.
Messages.
I am a Deion Sanders fan because he played for Atlanta. He was an Atlanta Falcon. He was one of the first two-dimensional athletes playing baseball.
That number 21 is legendary.
I'm not saying that Bo Jackson wasn't, but Bo Jackson didn't do it consecutively. And I think Deion Sanders is the first athlete in history to suit up for both teams in one day. That's a fact. I know that because I'm an Atlanta Braves fan. I do that. I know that. So you can fact check me on that one. What else? Every day we hear the meltdown of Donald Trump. the pending impeachment. To me, I just think, why did you take 3 years to try to impeach him? Almost towards the end of his term. You got another year. Why waste $1 billion on, why waste the people's money, the government's money, to impeach him when you could have impeached him a long time ago? It took you 3 years to garner this evidence to try to impeach him. I don't understand. So, enough with that. Let's just move it along. That's what I had to say about that.
Right.
Am I right or am I wrong?
Yeah. But Nancy ain't coming to play no games, man.
I have mixed reviews on Nancy. I think Nancy's like one of those I don't take no shit, and then one of those.
See her clap? She clap like
yeah, I
this.
think I still have.
She would destroy you. She will.
I have the. She don't
will
care.
Crush you and turn you into sand to make a castle out you. This clap
I think she's trying to send a message that and the message should be sent that as the president, you should handle yourself accordingly, no matter what your accomplishments are, no matter what you're doing for this country. You abandoned one of our allies in the Middle East. The Middle East is in shambles. The Middle East hates us more than ever. We are at odds with different countries in the world. People hate us around the world because of his foreign policy.
Hey, look, I don't say all of
insane.
it. They know who to hate.
He is insane. But that's the truth. I don't know how else to say it, but yeah, he's digging his own hole every day. He should have just kept his mouth shut, and he would have, probably wrote it. Had he kept his mouth shut, off Twitter, out of how he handled himself, and follow those teleprompters, he probably would have sailed to another term. It's a true story. Since his meltdowns and since his I guess his, we'll say, what should I say?
Twitter rants?
No, after his, not espionage, his, what is it when you defy us and you treason. I think he committed treason, and I think that is definitely an impeachable thing. By trying to withhold money from Ukraine, for back on for some tips on how to investigate or whatever. He wanted another country to investigate somebody. How do you do that? That's insane. We're not going to make this show
seems
about
to be un-American to me.
We're not going to make this show about Trump
at all.
I just figured since we have not talked about it,
yeah,
and it's in the news, and you guys see it on the news, we figure we'd touch base on it. As you can see, the topic is: do you believe in ghosts? And it's out. It's out for this. It's, I guess the jury's still out on that topic because. I don't know if I believe in ghosts. I don't know if you believe in ghosts. You don't know if I believe in ghosts. I don't know if you believe in ghosts. Give us a call, 609-807-2492. Billy, do you believe in ghosts? What are your experiences with ghosts?
Well, younger, yeah. Younger, I did.
Well, younger, you have this, you have this mind that's curious and you could believe everything. You see a movie, and you're taking in what you're seeing on TV, and you're seeing these ghosts, and it kind of helps you believe it.
Now, my family had a lot of stories. Like my dad's stories was sending chills up your spine. Like my aunts, and they're all older, and they're from the South, and they got that Indian heritage too, man. I'll never forget, man. My aunt.
So it's crazy that I touched base on that.
Oh yeah. My aunt broke down. She would sleep on a living room couch, and she heard the sink going, and she said she looked over, and she said that some random lady was just washing dishes, but she said she looked down at the lady's gown. She had a long white gown, but she didn't have feet, like she was levitating.
Oh, so she was just a fading, fading, figure.
And then my pop walked into a house and he depicted a cowboy or like some guy with like a cowboy hat sitting in a room, and he just kept repeating the words. I'll never forget the words that he said. He just kept repeating them. He said, "So near, but yet so far. So near, but yet so far." He just kept saying it, almost like an echo.
Was this the
whisper.
cowboy? Or?
Yeah. The cowboy was. And hearing that, but I mean, like they actually got stories that come along with those. I'm getting straight to the to the point where
that's really like. I guess that'll sends chills and
as a kid, as a kid, yeah.
So what made you not believe in them now?
All right, well, I mean,
you haven't seen any.
I mean, of course, I mean, I'm in as a 5% in the 5% nation of gods and earths. Along with me getting older, but we go through degrees, and one of the degrees states in there that in all the history of the 5% nation, never revealed anyone coming back from a physical death, but there is a chance for a mental death because the lost found was once dead mentally.
So you do believe, but you don't.
Listen, it's like even if it did, right?
You can't talk about it.
No, and dig this. Well, yeah, for one, nobody ever come back and tell you whether, exactly what an afterlife is like. You got people that, they drowned or they had near-death experiences, seen the white light, whatever the case may be.
Everybody's interpretation of heaven and hell.
My thing like this is like, listen, if I'm gonna see a ghost, I'm gonna see a figure that's not here anymore. Let me get the option of who I want to see. Well,
I mean,
like I don't want to see some random old white man like shaking chains at the edge of my bed.
You don't get to choose who you see. It's like you see them because they accidentally reveal themselves to you. That's what I've read. And, I've had some crazy experiences. I don't talk too much about it, but I have had my fair share of experiences. Growing up in Trenton, we're talking about houses that have probably been there since the late 1800s or the early 1900s. Trenton is one of America's oldest cities.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yeah. LA has nothing on us.
Established along with the 13 original colonies.
Yeah, we were one of the part of this state is one of the oldest, the original 13 colonies. To say Trenton at one point could have been the capital of the United States. That's what they thought was, the turning point of the Revolutionary War. So we're talking about these old buildings, so I've seen a fair share of ghosts, and I've lived in a lot of places. One particular place was, and you guys can call in if you know where this place is at. You probably know where this place is at. Hudson and Butler, the corner of Hudson and Butler. There's an apartment building, and it has a big sign that's home of the Italian People's Bakery. That apartment building, I lived in on the third floor in the early 90s. We'll say about maybe 2 years, but it was the early 90s. My brother was, maybe this big. I had just started collecting baseball cards, so I was in and out. I lived right next to the Colonial Bakery. I used to run through the Colonial Bakery and then out the People's Bakery, and always had, hot bread, fresh bread. But that particular building, the third floor, it was weird. We were playing, me and my brother, watched Bob Villa one day, this old house. And my brother wanted to become a repairman. My brother didn't know he was becoming not a repairman, but a destructive man. He took
the complete opposite.
Complete opposite. He took the door exactly off his hinges. And I don't know how, because his door was like this thick of wood. It's one of those old
Somehow
you know,
he managed to get it down.
he just took it off his hinges. I don't know how, but he must have watched, you know, a DIY Bob Villa movie or show,
Home Improvement.
a home improvement show, and you know, well, we had the door on its hinges, and it was only 2 occupants of the building. It was only 2 apartments, which we were friends with. So we left the door open. You know, it was like, you know, it was a different time in life. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about almost 20, 25 years. Oof.
Can't do that now.
30 years. 30. Oof.
Definitely won't want to do it now. No.
33 years ago.
Yeah.
So, damn, I'm that fucking old. So, you know, one night we're all playing, you know, my mom had friends over and, you know, they had their kids over, you know, the downstairs, we're all playing hide and seek. And it was my turn to go find somebody. And, you know, the hall, you know, the door was open, and the railing of the stairs was right there, like right in front of the door. So towards the left was a long, elonged hallway, you know, like to put some storage and whatever, you know. But we had our bunk beds there because we were poor. We lived in a 1-bedroom apartment, and we were in the process of getting ready to move. So my mom had us get some boxes, and they were stacked up on the very end of these bunk beds. Okay. And I'm walking out of this hall, and I'm like, I'm gonna get you guys, and I shit you not. Excuse my French. I shit you not. I literally seen 2-3 boxes levitate in the air. I was not drunk. I was not under the influence of anything. I was not sleeping. I was not sick. I legitimately seen 2 to 3 boxes levitate in the air. And what I said is, I'm coming to get you. I see you're there. You're moving. You know? I was a kid. I was probably 11, 12 maybe. I don't know. Maybe could have been younger. And I went behind there to see, you know, look. There was nobody there. I was like, holy shit. I ran the hell out of the house. I really never encountered something like that. You know, that place was haunted, you know, because, you know, we would sleep at night and we'd hear an Italian singer. We would go outside to see where he was at. He was in our apartment. You know, a ghost was singing in Italian, you know. And one day, I pulled out a pack of saltine crackers. Okay, I opened the pack, I ate a couple, and I pulled one out, and I looked at it, and it was completely covered in ants. Completely covered in ants. I was like, holy crap! You know, you immediately like throw it on the ground. I looked, and there was no ants. So, again, you know, I was a certain age, you know, living in an old apartment building, and there was experiences. You know, we've had legitimately experiences. Do I believe in them? I mean, over the years, you know, your mind, you know, tends to forget, but then, you know, you remember. Ooh, wow! Remember seeing that, legitimately seeing it. You know, call me crazy, but I know what I've seen. I don't know if the house was, you know, it was a bad presence in the house, more than just a, you know, an apparitional or a ghostly or a, you know, spiritual energy that was in there, but it was becoming more aggressive as time went on. You know what I'm saying? Legit. So, you know, me seeing saltines covered in ants is not a ghostly thing. It's more of a demonic energy. You know, it's a more possessed. It's more of a, you know, the house is under some, you know, there's something bad in the house. So, you know, I knew what I was seeing. I knew, and I understood at that age, I understood a good ghost to a bad ghost. My mom always told me, you know, if you see a ghost, and I'm like, why, you know, why are you telling me? Oh, ask her what he wants. You know, get some lottery numbers. You know what I'm saying? My mom we'll try to put a comedic response to a serious question without scaring me. And I don't know if I was scared. I was 12 years old. But how I ran out of the house, my mom came to talk. She goes, "Listen, this house is haunted. We just gotta live with it. This is where we live." So I took that, and that was my big experience with ghosts. There was others, but we could be here all night.
I probably had instances where, like messages are meaning. It seemed like whenever somebody passed, I have like the most vivid, dream, of them, and me, losing my brother and how close I was to my brother. I remember like the first week of my brother passing, and I had a dream about my brother, and it just happened to coincide, with his death, and it was just like after that dream, I had got closure, because I always felt like it was more that I wanted to tell him, or more that he was supposed to tell me, that we just never got to express to one another. But so I had this dream, and he was in the suit that he was buried in. I mean, the haircut, everything was how he was to a T. And I remember him explaining to me that everything was okay. He was like, everything is okay. Like I'm fine. Like it was better. More so like I'm in a better place. And it was almost like just this transitioning, and it was just like this message that he just had to get to my soul in my sleep. And I'll never forget that dream. And then another dream where I actually woke up in a cold sweat, that I'm actually dreaming in the position that I'm laying. Like I'm in the bed. Of course, it's completely dark, and my brother's just over me, just shadow boxing. He would do that. He would do that like every single night. He was just shadow boxing, and and when I opened my eyes, I was looking directly in the spot where he would have been shadow boxing. Now, mind you, I'm asleep, so my body should be in any position. It should be facing the wall. I should be upside down, wherever the case may be. But I just happened to get up, and I'm looking directly in the spot where he was shadow boxing, and I just got the cold sweats. It was cold sweats, and then I would get them frequently. Like I haven't had them in a while. Like I welcome dreams about my brother with open arms, because it's the closest that I could get to him.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. You feel that, you have a moment with him.
My last couple of dreams that I had with him, oh my goodness, I explained everything. Like, I'm older now, and I got kids, and I'm just breaking it all down, and I woke up like this, just so relieved, man, and just like tears of joy. Tears of joy. You know what I mean? Like that's a different feeling, man. Like you wake up crying like out of your sleep, man. And again, I haven't had them in a while. Like when my grandparents passed, I had a dream about each of them. And I feel like they're messages and it's energy. You know what I mean? Because one thing about energy is energy doesn't die. Energy can't die. Energy is transformed from one form to another. My kids are getting older. Me and my daughter had this talk, and I could tell, the anxiety of life was getting to her. And she asked me flat out. She was just like, "Dad, what happens when we die?" She was like, "I'm nervous." She's like, "I'm scared." She's 11.
Listen, I'm not gonna bullshit you. I'm scared. I'm scared of dying. I mean, who isn't?
Right. So,
I mean, if you're not scared, I mean, listen.
You got some out there that
we live in a time.
Yeah.
We live in a different time to where some people just don't give a shit. But
But what those people don't realize is that there is no do-over button. There is no reset button. You don't put quarters into a slot like a Pac-Man game. So I explained to her the best way I could. I took a scientific approach. When she asked me, she said, "Daddy, what happens when we die?" So I told her, I said, imagine a lamp and a light bulb, right? So I showed her the lamp. I said, "You see that lamp right there?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "Now, if that light bulb blows, what would happen?" She was like, "It'll get dark. We won't have any light." I said, "Right." I said, "But when that bulb dies, does that mean that the lamp is trash?" So she said, "No." I said, then what would you do? She was like, you would have to replace it with another bulb. I said, now imagine that those light bulbs are pretty much just your life. That's your body, mainly. You know what I'm saying? And when your life goes out, it's like your soul is the lamp. Your body is just a bulb. You'll lose your body. It'll go. It'll blow. You turn from an infant, you go to adolescent, you grow old, you die and wither away. But one thing that we're made up of and we're comprised up of is energy. And energy can't die. It's just transformed from one form to another. Some people call it reincarnation. Some people call it the transitioning. All of that, you know. In religion, they call it a spirit. In science, they call it energy. In the streets, they just call it vibes. But there's some entity that's connected with life that we know that you can't see but exists. And again, break it down. In religion, they're called spirits. In science, it's called energy. In the streets, it's called vibes. But regardless, trust it. That's your intuition. That's the stuff that's telling you not to walk over a ledge and just jump off because you know that you would die. That's the thing. When you get burnt, you know not to touch the stove again. That's your logic. That's your reasoning. And some people believe that that's the element of God. Good orderly direction. Whatever keeps you functioning from one day to the next, for you to be civil and raise your kids as productive members of society, because you got good and bad. You got civil people, you got lunatics.
Absolutely.
I feel like the lunatics don't take life seriously. There's something that they're lacking, and something that they're missing, and you could try to pacify it with medication and all type of other stuff. You know, but once that show is over, it's over. It's physically over. Yeah. You're not guaranteed like this another life. Okay, well, as soon as I die, I'm just going to come back. I'm going to get it together this time. You don't know.
Yeah.
You know?
And it kind of like, and like, you know, like the criminals or, you know, the people that commit really heinous crimes and get handed like 175 years or 200 years, 400, 500 years. You know, like, why do all that? You just basically threw yourself away.
Look at the mindset of a lunatic. You got people out there that are killed. They did wrong. Okay? You got the demonic, possessed, evil spirits like Jeffrey Dahmer, who was not only killing people, but cutting them up and eating them. You got Ted Bundy's.
Ted Ginn, the guy who made made belts out of nipples.
Crazy.
Yeah, you know,
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Fumes, bodies. Well, Texas Chainsaw
was a true story.
I don't think he existed exactly. I think Ted Ginn is actually Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Family of cannibals. But the same way in life physically, you got these good and evil characteristics. Same way on the spiritual realm. And it's a fight. Every day it's a fight. And it's good versus evil. And sometimes that biggest fight is within yourself. It's within self. You know, so you got to find that element. You got to find that niche to humbly find yourself. And when my daughter came to me, this was she came with these questions. You know, she's at that age. You know, she wants to know, what is life? Like, what's the meaning of it? And, just give me something. And as her father, it's like, and having that understanding, once she got that concept of the light bulb and the lamp, she was so much more calm. She was like, like, wow, okay. Okay, so when a light bulb dies, that doesn't mean that the lamp is trash. I'm like, right. That's just that's just life as a whole. Like, we watch light bulbs fade around us all day, every day. Just look at people as light bulbs.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, this light bulb burned out. But
that's a pretty
collectively as humanity, we're the lamp. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean that the lamp is trash. You don't throw the lamp out. You put another bulb in.
Well, you can always use it to tell the story, like, right, just because of the bulb, there's no energy running through that bulb, doesn't mean the energy's dead.
How about that?
The energy
the bulb doesn't even have to blow. You can turn, when I turn a lamp, let's just say I unplug the lamp, and I'm just clicking. that doesn't mean that the bulb is trash or the lamp is trash. I mean, you plug it in, and you plug it into a what? An energy source. Because energy is transformed from one form to another.
It's crazy how we can spin that.
Yeah.
Real quick, shout out to Saquon Hampton, former North Star. He is playing in the NFL right now. He suited up yesterday for the Saints and Bears game. Shout out to you. Congrats.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I saw that highlight. Good stuff.
And the Princeton Seminary will pay $27 million in slavery reparations.
To who?
I don't know, but that's crazy.
The only way to make sense out of that is if they go through their own genealogy. Now, you're going to have to start with the students that you have or whoever you have inside your history books and go back there, because I'm quite sure that property did have their fair share of slaves. And you got to go back
I don't know about that
as far as your records could possibly go.
This is Princeton. New Jersey was free. I don't know how free, but...
No, they don't even necessarily have to be slaves, but you could get people who were slave descent that came here, but now they're on file. Okay, now you get those people on file, and then you go down.
Or the seminary did some work in slave territories. It's a possibility.
Yeah, but...
Crazy, right? Crazy to think that. Crazy how we can take one conversation, this conversation, and that conversation, and that conversation. It's nuts.
Yeah, they're gonna have to go deep. They have to go deep and dig deep and all type of genealogy on that. Oh yeah, of course. I mean, bro, we ain't even scratched the surface when it comes down to
ghosts.
To that.
Do you guys believe? Have you had an experience? Give us a call. 609-807-2492.
Now, do I like to hear ghost stories? Love them. Do I like to watch it? Love it. I'm a huge fan of paranormal activity. I'm a huge fan of Annabelle, The Conjuring, Insidious. I love that stuff. I love it.
I agree. I watch some of those shows, but I do like to watch YouTube videos of people exploring old abandoned Victorian houses.
I watched that live ghost. Bro, I was watching one with the ghost caught on tape, and the dude had the snack cabinet, and the door would just open up so he started recording it. So he closed it, and he's recording it, and then the door opened up. So he opened it up. He'll look in there. It's just regular cabinets. He'll close it. The door opened back up. He opened it up. Man, on that final time, mind you, it's a glass cupboard, whatever, which is kind of faded. He closed it, backed up. The little girl just kind of put her hands and face to the glass, and he was gone, like he was out. Yo, I love that stuff. Give you the goosebumps up your back, especially when you're watching it by yourself. And my daughter, she's the same way. Like, she loved that Annabelle stuff. Like, she loves that The Conjuring.
My daughter doesn't like it. My son, on the other hand, he seems to not get scared of it.
Yeah, he gonna be the one. He's gonna be that one that's just like, yo, F that. They got Annabelle 5. I want to go see it.
Like, I had friends with masks. We went to the Fright Fest, Six Flags. He seen the ghosts and the monsters and all that, and he was like he just looked at it like, yeah, and.
You know what I find interesting though? Mediums.
Yeah.
Mediums,
yeah.
bro, and I mean good ones at that. And I mean, listen. I ain't gonna be one of the ones to ride the fence like, is it true, is it not, or this is that and the third. But look, if I ever bump into one, impress me. Impress me.
It's well.
I mean, look, listen. I'm not saying what you're doing is full of crap and all this other stuff. It's interesting. Some
mediums are really, really good.
Yeah.
And some mediums are, it's not in. Let's say the gift is not able to be used.
It's not in the cards.
It's not in the cards. Well, I mean. Well, say, they could be a medium and, they don't probably know how to use their gift or whatever,
abilities,
their abilities.
I was watching an episode of Sopranos where Paulie went to go see a medium, and the guy sitting there, he's trying to do the other people, but Paulie's ghost is just too loud because, he's this mobster that killed all these people. So the medium was just like, okay, go ahead, talk. He was like, I'm listening. So he walks over to Paulie, but he's like looking at the sky. He was like, is your name Charles? Charles Pagano. So he's like, how the F do you know that name? And this is like one of my favorite episodes. So he's like ignoring Paul, like he's still talking to the ghost, whatever. He was like, he wants to know if it still itches. He was like, what? He was like, the poison ivy. Now, mind you, you got to be a dedicated Sopranos fan to know exactly what poison ivy was. The poison ivy was like season 2, maybe like season 3. Where
he got poison ivy
in the woods. He was trying to kill the guy.
He probably was trying to scratch. He was like, I got poison ivy.
And the guy kicked him. The guy kicked him in the groin, and he went rolling in the bushes, and he got the poison ivy. He was with somebody.
He was with
It wasn't Christopher.
Christopher.
Was it?
Wasn't it?
Yeah, no, it was Christopher.
Pine Barrens.
Yeah. He was.
Pine Barrens, yeah.
Now the Pine Barrens was the Russian dude. That was the Russian dude.
Yeah, it was the other guy.
But
they wrote. He was with Chris.
Yeah, he was with Chris in the Pine Barrens.
Hey
yo, so I'm a huge fan of Sopranos, man. But yeah, it was the episode with the medium. But I don't know the lady's name. She actually had a reality show. She had a TV reality show, like where she would just kind of walk around and, pretty much like pick people like walking. And she was good. Like she was good at what she did, and like whatever she did, it was to a T. Now, the skeptical part would be like, you probably knew these people, and whatever the case may be. But listen, I'm not going to knock that. Let's sit down. Impress me.
Well, I mean, like I said,
I'm a sucker for stuff like that.
I said some people have that gift, and some people really have to have that gift.
Would you want that gift?
It's hard to. I cannot answer that question.
I mean, in order to have it, I don't think you'll be scared. I don't think you'll be like, that's all it goes.
Question. I can't. I don't know. I couldn't answer that question because I don't know. I don't know if I would welcome it or not welcome it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how to answer that question.
Yeah.
How to answer the yes or no. I don't know how to.
I mean, listen, I'm not ruling it all out completely. That's like saying that there isn't other life like outside of Earth. Like, I'm not going to say that life is just exclusive to Earth. We got billions of galaxies. We got more galaxies than we got stars in the skies.
My saying is this: for us to believe we are the only life source in all of existence, we are very, very selfish to think that. And we're only a speck. So it's inevitable that another life form has to exist.
Jessica Roman. I see you, Jessica Roman. What's going on, girl?
Shout out to Jessica.
So I feel like both of those can coincide. You know what I mean? Like, does everybody have to see a ghost or have to have that experience? No. Ruben, open up the phone lines. My mom is trying to call. What's the number again? 609-807-2492. Call again, Mom. Call again, baby. So I can't rule it out completely, the ghost or whatever. I'm not ruling out nothing. I'm not ruling out Bigfoot. I'm not ruling out Loch Ness Monster.
Well, I mean, those things I can actually say, I don't think they exist. But for us to believe or think that we are the only life source to exist in all of existence, it's this very selfish way to think.
Unfathomable amounts of galaxies. There's more galaxies than it is stars.
But if you have read the Bible, and I'm gonna get deep real quick with you guys, you will know that there's details in there talking about, and then they came down to us, and they married our daughters. They're talking about, the rumor is that it was it's an angel.
I'd like to give my point of view.
In the film kind of type did exist.
Are the lines open?
Yes.
The rumor is. I'd like to give my point of view on do I believe in ghosts.
What's your name and where you calling from?
My name is Patrice and I'm Billy's mom.
Why is it
I'd like to give my point of view on do I believe in
You got the TV on in the background?
My name is Patrice and I'm
Oh, it's just the feedback. But go ahead, we're listening.
Okay, Billy gave his point of view as a 5%er. No, I don't have anything on.
Okay, no, go ahead. We just got a little feedback in the microphone, but go ahead.
Okay, Billy gave as a 5%er about not bringing anything that's gone before. Maybe I should cut you off.
Huh?
Maybe I should cut off the live view.
No. Go ahead, talk.
Okay, so Billy
Just,
gave
turn it down at least.
Center and not bringing anything that has gone before back to life. Well, anyway, my point of view. Okay, so biblically speaking, the Bible does mention spirits, and there are spirits, and like you're saying, there are good spirits and there are bad spirits. Okay, but it advises us not to give in to them, because they will approach you.
Yeah.
But you have to have a belief so strong that you have to fight against them. Okay, my experience with ghosts, when I was like 6 years old, and I'll never forget this, and I've mentioned this all my life, and I think my kids remember this. I don't know what the BJ does, but my older kids will remember. I saw 3 of my mamas walk around the house. We lived in a house in Virginia that was like my big mama's house, and all the family lived there. All my aunts and their kids, and we all lived in my grandmother and my grandfather's house. And Virginia was the area where we came from was full of ghost stories, but 3 of my mamas walked around the house when I was like 6 years old, and there was like 3 different entrances. In our room there was steps, and you go up to the door, then in the front door, and then on another side where the kitchen was. And she had a rag around her head, and she walked around, and she went up to the top of the steps, and that was it. Then the second one came around. They went to the top of the steps, and that was it. Now, they stood at the door. They never did come in. So right after that, my mom comes. I don't know how long after it, 5, 10, 15 minutes, something like that. So my mom comes in the house, not through the door where the 3 of her stopped, but she came through the door, and she was like, I said, Mom, I saw 3 of you come around the house. So she said, that was the witch riding you. See, we came from that area. So she said, that was a witch riding you. So what she did, and I was like 6, 7 years old, what she did was she put a horseshoe on the top of the door. And you have to turn the horseshoe a certain way. I don't know whether it's up or down, but it has to be a certain way. She went and got a flour sifter. I don't even know whether they have those anymore. And she put a broom in it and put it across the door, saying that a witch had rolled me. Now, the Bible does talk about spirits, and there was another incident. Well, in Virginia, they had a spot where it allegedly rained down blood in front of this big, big yellow house. Blood would drip from the sky, but we had so many incidents like that where I came from. Do I believe in them? I know they exist, but I pray to God that I don't encounter that. But I know that my mom was a ghost that walked around that house, 3 of her successively.
Wow.
The end.
Wow. See, and to hear stories like this growing up, you get an interest.
Did you know this story?
I didn't know that one. In particular, but now I can add my mom's story into the archives.
Yeah, that's
Booby could probably tell you that story.
That's an interesting. Thank you for sharing that with us. That's
No problem. Have a great evening.
Thank you, Mom.
Thank you, Mom.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right, now she touched on spirits, and I said that. I said in religion they call it spirits, in science they call it energy, and people also call it vibes. And you was just about to get into the Bible,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, it does. It does say that. I was talking about. I referred as to in the film, and then they do say that there is. They talk about different beings, and different entities, spirits. They say God is a spirit, they say, Jesus is a spirit. So that's what they say. So, I mean, yeah, if you ask me, I definitely believe him.
And I said it. And I said you gotta believe it. You gotta.
I believe in
you
him.
have to trust in it. Like Ghost in particular.
I believe in him, but I try to somebody says, I think I seen a ghost. I'm like, nah.
Now listen.
You know.
Now that
But then deep down,
energy,
I'm like,
yes.
yeah, probably he did.
Listen here. Energy, yes. Energy, yes. Because you could walk into a certain place and you could just feel the dynamics change.
Just like when I went to Gettysburg, you could feel.
Exactly. That.
You can feel.
That.
You can feel the presence. I mean, I don't know whoever has gone to Gettysburg, but if you have not gone to Gettysburg, go. And you would actually feel the presence. I mean, if you have any kind of, mindset like that, Ruben, get out of here. It's either Monk or Ruben. Probably Ruben.
One of them.
Um,
Energy, man.
I knew it was Ruben.
Jerk. The energy is
But I just felt. Remember, I was thinking about this.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
And it was just a different feeling, like a different. It didn't feel like your normal, everyday town.
Dig this. A lot of energy.
The whole entire town.
A lot of energy be visible. Now watch this, right? You ever drive anywhere clear as day, clear as I don't know what. But the moment that you ride past a graveyard, why is it always foggy and misty over there?
Oh yeah, I
How about that?
I have
everywhere around a cemetery, it's clear as day. You can walk through Greenwood Cemetery right now, Broad Street Cemetery, wherever, you will find a mist.
It's always I've seen that at a couple places. It's kind of
you can't explain that.
It's an eerie.
You can't explain that.
It's an eerie.
Like
sight.
what makes the mist accumulate specifically over a graveyard?
Have you driven anywhere and seen? No, you can't say.
Or a fog.
Well,
yeah,
I've driven.
Where you just saw the isolated fog, where
And
it's
I've
just
seen,
like
and
in
I've
this
seen
in
it.
particular
They've
area.
Probably turned around. I'm almost seen an apparition. I'm like, oh wait a minute, I had to take a second. I did that. But Gettysburg was definitely a
energy.
It left me really, really like. I was at ease, but I was not at ease. It was like, it kept me on my like. It's a town that you don't have to worry about, nobody robbing you. It's one of those towns that is just a really nice town. But it was something that was always something. I felt like something was watching me or something. Like something was there. I felt like something was there. Like something was.
You got the goosebumps, the chills.
It wasn't the chills. It was just like I felt like you feel like it was. The presence was just unexplainable.
Now dig, right? Like, all right, listen, you'll get to different types of energy. Like, you'll probably like be alone, like in the house, whatever. You go into that cold spot, like you kind of get the chills, and the energy just sink low.
Yeah,
but then you got that warm embrace energy too. Like listen, when my grandparents passed, I moved because my grandparents that stayed with us, and I moved into my grandparents' room. When I moved into my grandparents' room, that happened to be the most comfortable room that I've ever had in my life. The most comfortable room. And it was an embrace. My grandparents, literally, I loved my grandparents, right? Before they moved with us, we stayed in the same complex apartments. And I would beg my mom to stay. I didn't care about staying like with my cousins, like all this other stuff. I would literally just be with my old grandparents. My grandpop sitting there smoking 1,000 pound miles. My grandma playing solitaire right between her legs, playing solitaire all night. And that was the highlight of my life as a kid. And when I lost them, like they passed, like we were all living under the same roof. So anybody else would be like, I'm not staying in that room. Like, nah, my grandparents, man, listen, I don't know what made me want to do that or transition to it. But it was the most comfortable room I've ever stayed in still to this day. It was just embrace. I mean, from the bed to the couch.
You felt at ease. You felt peace.
Yeah. So it's different energies. You know what I mean?
I mean, different energies make you feel different reasons.
And those energy in people. You know what I mean?
I don't know if you've ever heard of the Lambertville School on a hill. I don't know if the school burnt down and kids were trapped or what happened. They said there was a cursed kid said the Buckeye, whatever. The guy lost his head. It was weird, urban legends about this school. I went there many years ago. We'll say 15 years. 15 years. We'll say 15 years. And I walked in before it was probably, if it's not standing there, no more, it's tore down. So you can't go there no more. I walked in, I remember it like it was yesterday. It was a spring, summerous, fresh day. I walked in and immediately felt suffocated. Like, it was just like, and it wasn't, everything, it was open, but it was just like something was like trying to either move me or drag me in there, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, I can't be in here. Right. So I walked out. And as soon as I walked out, I felt like, and it wasn't like there was chemicals, it was just an old rundown building, abandoned building, no windows. It was just walking in those doors. Immediately I felt this. Walked out and I was fine. So different energies make you feel different
smells too. Like my brother had a fragrance. My brother had this fragrance, and within like the first year like of his passing, I would smell it periodically.
I was letting you know that he was still there.
Yeah, so like I don't rule out, energies, presence, instances, like I'm not just coming, oh yeah, ghosts and just apparitions. Hey, listen, everybody got their different form. Everybody got a different, form of what they believe that energy is. But again, you got spirits, energy, and vibes. You know what I mean? They're carried on in situations, circumstances, and even in people. You know what I mean? Like you ever just been around, somebody, you just like that energy is just off.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. I have been around people. I'm like, you know what? There's something about that person I don't like.
Or even places like, listen.
And it's just, it is sometimes, it was one time recently. This may have been a year ago. I went to a gas station at night after I left my job to get gas. And I went into the store of the gas station to buy something. It was late. I wanted a snack. I wanted a ginger ale. I wanted, we'll say, a donut. I walked up to the register, and this guy was like walking in, and he was making some weird face to this other person. And the other person, I said, "This guy's not. There's something wrong. This guy is not gonna run me right." I shit you not. As I'm walking out, he's coming up to me like really, really close to me, and I'm like, dude. I stopped him and tried to say, back up. I was like, back up, or I'm gonna knock you out. Oh, you wanna fight me? I said, listen, do yourself a favor and leave, because this might be your last night alive. Yeah. And
how about
it was just, I said, you know what? Let me remove myself from this position before I do something that I regret. So I walked out and I left and I walked away. Well, I said some things, but I walked away.
Dig this though. You ever see somebody like a week prior, like not a long period, not like no month. I mean like a week, maybe even like a couple of days, and then all of a sudden you hear that they passed away.
Yeah.
And they energy automatically hit you. It's just like automatically.
You remember my friend that came when we had when we were supposed to have DJ Juice on at the other building?
What's his name?
Remember he came and he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get a CD." He never came.
Okay, yeah. He had called.
He passed. No, he came in.
Oh, yeah, he did. Yeah. And he sat on the side. He was on the side. Okay.
And he passed.
Yeah.
He only passed, just a couple months after. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, wow. It's insane when you hear, you say, like, oh, I was just talking about it.
Word. And like they energy automatically just kind of transition. You know what I mean?
I lost a friend a friend of mine once. One of my friends. I was one of the last people he's seen alive. Next, I seen him that night. We were out, and the next day I found out that he died in an accident from that area, from that particular spot. You know, he wasn't driving. He died in a car accident, drunk drive. You know, the guy was drinking, driving. He died. You know, so and I was one of the last people to see him. And I said, "Yo, need a ride?" And he goes, "No, I'm good. I'm good." I'm like, "You sure?" He goes, "Yeah." I was like, "All right, man. I'll talk to you. Have a good one." And that's the last time I seen him. So it was.
I'm gonna keep it real, man. One of the main reasons.
It's sad.
That's one of the main reasons why I try to keep good relationships with a lot of people that I encounter. I don't want to hold grudges. I don't want to beef. You know what I mean? Especially if I care for that person.
It does. Listen, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie because there's some things that sometimes you can't. You gotta hold grudges. Sometimes.
It's like, nah, I wouldn't want to.
But you do end up holding grudges because no matter what you do, you
can't please everybody. Yeah.
And there's some people in life that I don't agree with. There's some people that are like those life. In my opinion, to me, those kind of people are those lifelong, enemies that you just can't reconcile no matter what. So yeah, I do hold some grudges. I don't hold too many, but I do hold some.
But again, I try to be on good terms. Like talking to my sister, which I don't really like airing this out. I really don't like airing this out, but like she still feel a guilt, because she feels like she wasn't on good terms with my brother when he had passed, and that's an awakening to me, because it's like, wow, like that's something. Even if you felt that way, that's something that you can't rectify to get back or do a do-over, because it's like it's over. You know what I mean? Like it is what it is. Like certain, when you look at great leaders, you look at great leaders, and you go to look at like a Martin Luther King, and when that day comes around, that Martin Luther King Day, and like you hear his speeches and stuff on the radios, and the people that gather and get together, and like what that common cause is for. That's a whole energy all over the place. That's an energy. I've never made it, to the African American museum, the slavery museum. I haven't made it there, but everybody who I talked to that went there, man, it's like it's an awakening. It's like this eye-opening experience.
I did get to, when I was in Gettysburg, I did see a part of the Underground Railroad. That was pretty cool.
It's like really this. Cool. It's like this existed. You know what I mean? Like this is real. Like this is actual history. And yeah.
Dude, listen, there's not a lot of movies that inspire me, but I want to go see Harriet Tubman.
Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah.
She was bad during the time that women were not, a figurehead. Especially her being black and a runaway slave. Right? She was a runaway slave.
Yeah, of course, yeah. She freed other people. Yeah.
So I'm just saying, in a time, she made an impact.
She
left an impact.
Freed hundreds, not thousands.
Probably freed thousands of people. So yeah, that.
And shout out to the white people that had a hand in that too.
We should have a day for her. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. Listen.
Like you said, shout out to the white.
When I hear the stories and accounts of the white people that helped, was that they would have the little jockeys in front of the house with the lamps, and if you approached the house with the little jockey in front of the house with the lamp, that was a safe house. And the South ain't know nothing about that. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, that's major.
Talking about there's like a little statue or something.
Yeah.
Those things.
It was a little jockey with the lamps and stuff.
Yeah, those things are actually like worth a lot of money. They're antiques. So if you have one of those, you sell it for a couple $1,000s. Not maybe.
Hey, look, hold on to it, man. In the event, I don't know, we might need it.
The way we look.
Man, look, man, look, the way things is going these days, man. We don't know what we're gonna need to have our own underground railroad. Not just blacks, just civilized people. Just look, look. If you're smart and you could add 2 + 2, and you ain't no idiot, follow us.
I live underground, under off the grid, if it's for for the right cause.
Yeah. Facts, man, to escape some bull crap.
Shout outs, brother. Quick shout outs.
Listen, man,
We have been on over an hour.
Yeah, shout out to you. Shout out to Hamilton Radio, man, for the platform. Monk in the cut back there. Ruben came up in here doing ghost sounds all in the background. Still shout out to them, man. Shout out to my mom for calling in, man, and dropping some gems and some jewels with her own stories. Jessica was hitting us up, man. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody that had
shout
tuned
to all
in, man.
the viewers.
My family, friends, all of y'all.
Yeah, shout out to all the viewers. Shout out to all you guys, viewing from around the world, locally, social media, and the website. Shout out to Hamilton Radio. One of the best platforms around here. Some of the best doing it at this internet thing. We're one of the top 10 internet radio stations in the world. Hopefully we can keep going. Shout out to Ruben, shout out to Monk, shout out to Gino, shout out to you, brother. Shout out to us. We do this every Monday. Shout out to everybody that's around that's part of my life. Shout out to my wife, my daughter, and my son. Shout out to all my friends that I see and talk to. Love you guys. This is a great platform, and
yeah, I enjoyed the night show. I enjoyed the night show.
We talked. We hit off. We talked about a lot of great things, a lot of good things, cool things.
Yeah.
I don't always talk, about certain things, but certain topics will open
the supernatural was different. It was different because it's
certain topics will open up my mind a little. But we're the FREESTYLE on HamiltonRadio.net.com. I'm Ralphie Ryan, also known as DJ Noise. This is my right hand man, Billy the Kid. And we're the FREESTYLE on HamiltonRadio.net on the internet.
Shout out to Dan, too.
Shout out to...
Yeah, Dan, Mr. Roman, all of y'all. Love y'all.
Shout out to Jessica. Shout out to your mom.
Yep, yeah, the whole Roman family. All of y'all, man. Appreciate y'all.
We're out. We're the FREESTYLE Freaks.
Show, man.
Always, brother.